homies? Mick Loverpants all up in this hizzy back at you again with, of course, more Sifu arenas, my friends. Right now, we're working on the platinum, of course, and we're working on the hidden dragon achievement, which is, you know, clearing all of the dragon sticker arenas. And of course, I am going to go back and try to get, or no, I am going to get 3 stars in the dragon arenas. God damn it. But right now I'm just clearing achievements, and then I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do the young man run. What the fuck? I hit the wrong button again. I keep fucking doing that. I'm going to do the young man run after that, which is me trying to beat the game without dying. So yes, doing the platinum and then 2 ego fulfilling ones.
Came to the wrong place, pal.
What's the matter?
Oh God. Why? I hate the alternate moveset sometimes, dude. I mean, it's my own fault. I'm not reading. I just don't read. Yeah, okay, cool. Time slow down instead of focus. Grunts buffed on takedown, infinite health. Okay, cool. I just need to keep my score up. I just gotta do a good job, guys. Gotta do the high score.
Stay there.
Haha!
Nerves get the better of you.
How is my score already so fucking low? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there we go.
Drop it!
No!
What's the matter?
What the fuck? How dare you? How dare you dodge my bullshit, huh? That ain't okay. Oh my goodness. It is the morning. I am still not quite awake yet. The caffeine hasn't really taken effect. I did have something I wanted to talk about though, because the Shank Tank episode of the new season of the Self-Defense Championship came out. And Shank Tank is when the contestants all do knife defense. And as always, it went very poorly for the contestants because they didn't have a weapon. Turns out, having a weapon is a big advantage, even a small weapon as a knife.
Fire.
What is nice, though, is that I felt very vindicated about a couple of things. Once again, not just using kicks in a self-defense scenario, but using head kicks in a self-defense scenario. Because one of the contestants, although in the show they didn't end the match really should have ended when he blasted the knife wielder with a head kick. That would have knocked him out. They didn't end the fight when they should have, at least in my opinion. But you know, it is what it is. Having that ability to just pick up your leg and plant it on a guy's face, the amount of people who know how to defend against that properly is far fewer than the amount of people who can do it, who can land head kicks. So if you know how to kick people in the head, the person you're doing it against probably doesn't know how to defend it properly, and probably won't be able to. So there's that. There's also one of the contestants landed spinning back kicks on the knife wielders hard enough to where they just couldn't get up because he was just going full send on them. And for those of you who are not aware, spinning back kicks, spinning hook kicks, they are the most powerful strike the human body can generate. So the fact that he was able to land them quickly and effectively, and then meant that he ended the fight almost instantly, which meant he didn't get stabbed as much. Now the thing about the realities of knife defense is that you're probably going to get cut or stabbed, and so the trick is you want to keep from getting cut or stabbed in areas that will cause you to bleed to death or die. So areas of major arteries, you know, the neck, the thighs. You really don't want to get stabbed in the thighs. You really don't want to get shot in the thighs either, because of the femoral artery, the largest artery in the human body. You will bleed out in literal seconds if you get stabbed in that artery. And so, you know, you gotta be careful with that shit. And then it's like, well, if you're kicking, aren't you getting that artery closer to them? Ideally, no. Ideally, the way that you're kicking with proper enough form where you're hitting them with the lower part of your shin or your foot long before, way before your thigh would actually get close to them. And that is what happened to the guys who were landing kicks on these guys. They're hitting them with proper form and technique, and we're able to do that. It's almost as if you practice something, you're able to do your techniques in stressful situations, despite what everybody fucking says about self-defense. It's like, oh, you will never be able to do good technique in self-defense situations. It's not that. It's not that you're not able to do it. It's that your technique is never going to look perfect when you're in a self-defense situation. But if you practice your techniques, you'll be able to land them under stress. It's been proven time and time again, like just from watching like fights. Fighting, while different from self-defense, there are differences between competitive fighting and self-defense. You're still like, competitors are still able to land their fancy techniques in stressful situations, and for someone who is good at fighting, even self-defense situations are still going to be easier on them than people who aren't good at fighting. Another thing I felt vindicated by is how effective proper grappling is in these knife defense situations, because there's a jiu-jitsu guy on the during the competition, and he did something that literally nobody says is a good idea. Like, nobody. Which is he pulled guard, which means he invited the knife wielder to the ground. And when in jiu-jitsu, when you pull guard, it's when you sit down on the ground and you try to tangle the guy up in your legs. And that's exactly what he did. And it was extremely effective at mitigating the knife attacker. And that was insane, because literally every expert that we have in regards to self-defense says you should never, ever, ever invite the fight to the ground. You should never, like, if you get on the ground, you need to be able to fight off of the ground in the hopes of getting back up. But never should you invite it. But he did. The jiu-jitsu guy did. He tangled the guys up in his legs, and they weren't able to effectively attack him. It was pretty fucking great. And the thing is, I was reminded of a not super well-known book, but an important one at that, from Jack Dempsey, called Fight Tough. It was a manual that he had made, I think, either for the Army or the Marines. For those of you who don't know, Jack Dempsey was a boxer back in the good old days, you know. 30s and 40s, and but the thing is about boxers back then is that they often cross-trained, and Jack Dempsey cross-trained from both in pugilism and in judo, and so I think that I'm pretty sure it was the army asked him to make a fight manual for the troops, and in that fight manual, he talks about if you're fighting a guy with a knife and he's good with it, which means he's keeping the knife close to his body. Damn. Okay, this one's hard. He's keeping the knife close to his body, not threatening you with it, but he's actually like fighting you with it and clearly knows what he's doing. The best thing to do is to sweep and tangle them up in your legs, so that they can't get good positioning and then get on top of them, which is pretty cool to see that in a modern context, which is pulling guard. At the time in the US, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu wasn't really a thing, and pulling guard is very much a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu thing, whereas with Judo and Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, you don't really pull guard, you just kind of end up there. It's not your goal to go there. You're not going there on purpose. It's not your main go-to move. It's something that happens during the grappling exchange, not something that you're actively trying to do. So instead of pulling guard, it was a sweep, and then tangling them up in your legs when you do the sweep, because that is how a lot of the sweeps are meant to be used. A lot of people will see a sweep and it's like, oh, it's just meant to trip them, and then it's like, well, then what? It's not really meant to trip them. You're doing the sweep, it trips them over, but you're also tangling them up in your legs so that you can get a leg lock off on them, because leg locks are devastating, and if you can finish a leg lock off, your opponent can never walk again. So they can't do much if they can't walk, now can they? And so yeah, the jiu-jitsu guy did well by pulling guard. It was crazy, absolutely insane. So yeah, it was great to see. It was great to see. Shank Tank is always fun. Ooh, someone's calling me. Hold on a second. Boop. And we're back. I have to be more effective at killing my opponents here. If only the head kicks in this game knocked people out instantly, like they often do in real life. Because that's the thing about being able to kick somebody, is that if you can land them flush with the proper technique, they're gonna be a fight ender, or they're gonna give you a lot better positioning, because you're gonna knock the guy to the side and stun them. Even if they're like, you see Thai fighters just eating head kicks because they work out their necks so fucking much because of all the clinching they do. But if you land a head kick, even if they're able to tough out the head kick and not get knocked out, you're still gonna rattle them and get them to move. And it's those little like, bang, oh, they take a couple of steps, and in self-defense, that might just be enough to give you enough of an opening to bolt and get out of there. Because that's all what self-defense is like escape, You don't need to knock out your opponent. You just need to get out of there. And then escalator enforcement. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Enforce the law in this working escalator and assert authority. Oh boy. Where was I going? Where was I going with this? But yeah, no. And what was clearly demonstrated in the Shank Tank is that, like, just oftentimes when it comes to self-defense, just pure aggression will get you so far, because they have a guy in this season who's just a guy. This show is being filmed in Australia, and one of the guys participating is just just an Australian dude, and he's great. Everybody loves him. Fucking alternative goddamn move sets that are slow. Fuck off. Fuck. Okay. Get the kill. I hate. There we go. I just gotta keep doing that. There we go. Shoulder tackle. Where was I going? Right! The Australian dude who has not zero formal training, but barely any training, is doing really well. And it's because he is just like, okay, I don't know how to fight, so I just have to go hard and just not stop if I'm gonna get out of here. And that will take you far in self-defense scenarios. A lot of self-defense scenarios are just about like, just out of necessity, I have to keep fighting and I can't stop, and there's nothing that they can do to stop me. Just being able to just do that. And I'd say that your average Australian is probably pretty tough. I don't know. That's just kind of what I get about the culture.
Not so tough after all.
You guys gotta stay out of my space. Give me more points. Thanks. This guy's just not attacking me.
No way.
There we go. Another thing that I saw there in the thing, they'll have slight variations in the Shank Tank where there might be like an object or a prop that you can use to defend yourself. And in one of them, they're like, oh, you have this bag. And a lot of the guys didn't really effectively use the bag. Mostly probably because they just don't have a lot of experience practicing with a shield, which like even people who actively practice like weapon self-defense don't practice using a shield. And so there are certain things that you do when you have a shield that they just weren't doing. And so, you know, there's that. Personally, and I actually wear jackets for a lot longer throughout the year slightly because of this. The most popular form of knife fighting for a long time was cloak and dagger. And a lot of people hear cloak and dagger and they'll hear the modern use of it, which is to be like, you know, spy, espionage, sneaky shit. But what cloak and dagger comes from is this style of knife fighting where you have your cape or your cloak and you take it off and you hold it in front of you and you keep your dagger close to your body. And ideally, when it's to disguise your body's positioning so that when the guy comes to stab you, they're stabbing your cloak and not your body. But you can also use the cloak to grapple. And the main
You forget how to fight.
the main way to do it is to wrap your opponent's dagger in the cloak, and that makes it a lot easier to grapple. And the thing is that the bag they were using was like a gym bag, which is very stiff and rigid compared to like a cloak. So it's actually pretty difficult to do cloak and dagger techniques with a bag. It'd be a lot easier to do it with like a sports coat or a leather jacket, for instance, or a bomber jacket, you know. She's just dodging my shit. How fucking dare you? Your little little bitch baby dodging my bitch shit, bitch, motherfucker.